Hello gamers and welcome back. I'm Rob, of course, or Warshack if you want to call me by my in-game name, and it is the beginning of the month, which means we are rank 17 and we can have some fun playing some interesting decks. One of the decks I've been wanting to play for quite some time now is the revamped version of our Jade Golem rogue deck. We're probably going to lose. With it being at the beginning of the season, we know most players around, the ranks, I want to say 17 to about 14 are going to be all basically legend players that got reset. So I expect nothing less than, of course, queuing into Shaman, as we see here. But at least when we queue into these Shamans, we're knowing if we do win, we are going against some fairly strong opponents. And if we happen to lose, it is purely based on just unfortunate circumstances, nothing that has to do with our weak deck or the fact that I do make mistakes sometimes. Has nothing to do with that. Also, guys, it's kind of late tonight, and I'm recording after work, so I am a bit tired, so I'll hopefully try to keep, of course, the upbeat attitude and to make only the most fantastic and highest quality of plays, but unfortunately, sometimes, guys, the tiredness does take over, and we do suffer as the result to that. So turn 1 comes along, or I mean turn 2, we're already fucking up. We can hero power and kill this small-time Buccaneer, or we could go ahead and Undercity Huckster and kind of contest the board. I like going ahead and just hero powering this guy down. It feels good, it looks good, and killing a small-time Buccaneer with our 1-1 weapon, there's just really nothing better. Normally we would backstab it and attack, but now we can actually save this backstab for bigger and better things. The nerf already feels good, boys. Most of the time, we probably would have been able to play the Undercity Huckster and then gone ahead and then unearthed Raptored it. But in this situation, we're one point off, but it doesn't really make a big deal because we're going to be able to Raptor this next turn, given that he doesn't have Jade Claws, and it doesn't look like he does. Alright, so we're going to Raptor, backstab, and attack is what seems what is going to happen here. So we go ahead and Raptor this. We know this goes here. We have to backstab this, and we'll swing into it because not killing Mana Tide Totem is a very big and really bad decision to make. There's one card you don't want to leave up on the board. Now we basically generate 2 cards, which puts 6 cards in our hand, and we draw into 7. He's at 8, so we're really not that far behind considering these creatures. They'll get a lot of value. Lightning Bolt, Maelstrom Portal for 2, Northshire Cleric. That's a good card. I like the Doom Hammer. Who like the Doom Hammer? Robbie like the Doom Hammer. This feels nice. This feels real nice. Unfortunately, we are overloaded too. And he could actually run Acidic Swamp Ooze or Harrison Jones. Acidic Swamp Ooze most likely, or more likely than Harrison, of course, in the Shaman list. But I'm going to take it he doesn't run it. He's probably going to Jade Claws right now. So indeed, he has started his Jade Army assault. We're going to have to deal with this Totemic Might to make up for the fact that we did indeed just get Doomhammer. Okay, so we know that we can kill off basically these guys. The Jade Shuriken can actually kill this after the 1 hit from there, and the patches can kill that one. So basically just fill out curve with the other Undercity Huckster. Actually, no, we want to Jade Shuriken, right? Yes, which means this is 2 mana, which means we need to use 1 mana, which means definitely don't want a hero power. Do we just want to go ahead and Shadow Strike? We know this goes here. We know this goes here. Now the question is, do we Shadow Strike or we just attack and we Jade Shuriken? I think Jade Shuriken should be fine. We are taking a tidbit of damage. But I have faith that this guy's deck is relatively slow. So when we go around 15 life, we'll kind of get a little bit more scared. I'll start using the Doomhammer for more of like a totem killer, more so than taking creatures to the face. But unfortunately, this guy seems to have the goose. Not the goose, but the good. Okay, he's going to use the weapon to clear off a 1-1. Doesn't feel too bad. Unfortunately, we drew this 1 turn too late, but I'm sure he'll have more weapons eventually. Bloodlust. That really doesn't help us too much as of now. Shadow Strike is okay. It's going to summon a 4-4, but right now this is a 5-5. I think we actually just might have to Drake and see what happens. I don't like the Shadow Strike onto this 5-3. Even though it doesn't feel terrible, it's just going to summon a 4-4, which again doesn't really feel that great to deal with. The weapon in this could kill that, or the weapon in this could kill that, and then we would Shadow Strike the 4/4 that comes out. We play the Drake, and he's prone to deal 1 more damage, and then he Jade Lightnings, and then we're not doing too well. We needed some more of our Jade generation cards. Our field control is severely lacking right now. And we know he probably just is going to attack face with the Aya. He could swing into the Azure Drake, but more than likely he's just going to Jade Lightning because he hasn't used that yet. And unfortunately, these 3 cards in our hand are useless. This doesn't mean anything right now, and this is the only other creature we have to play. So I'm assuming the Drake is going to be the best play regardless, due to the fact that we can draw. Now that we drew that card, things have definitely opened up for us. And I think we can go ahead and kill this Aya. We're going to use this to kill the 4/4, which could have been a 5/5. And then this can basically go face for that 1. So now we're in a decent situation because we drew a relatively good card. And we never had to use Shadow Strike, which allowed us to fit the mana curve of Azure Drake. So his Drake into Lightning Bolt. Spirit Claws is something that's relatively good that we can get rid of. I wouldn't say get rid of with Bloodscale, but I think we're going to die before that even happens. He did take an additional damage there. So we know that happens. This happens. This happens. This happens. This happens. And we can no longer take any more damage face. So this actually happens. And then we have Bloodlust. So we actually could potentially win the game if he does not kill a creature on our board. Because we have what looks to be, you know, 12 damage here. This is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is exactly lethal with Bloodlust. So we actually have 21 with hero power. So he could choose to go face, which it looks like, ooh, he chooses to kill. That would have been the 4 damage anyway. The Chieftain is a big deal, but it's not something we can't get around with our current board state. We draw Fan of Knives, which would be fairly good in combination with Blood Mage. Jade Swarmer, not too much. We're definitely going to have to Bloodlust to get through this, which means we'll Bloodlust first because we need to start trading creatures. This can trade here. Let's see what it generates. Oh, it generated, give your totems +2 attack, give your totems 2 health. This doesn't really do us too much, to be completely honest. I think we're going to be forced to kill this. And we have to hero power and kill this 1/1. This is pretty brutal. We had to use 8 damage to kill a 5/5, and we have no reload. I feel like the ultimate value rogue is kind of just a better version of this deck. Not that Jade's and ultimate value is the same thing. I just feel like this deck, if we're going to play a Jade deck, we should just play like a Shaman or something like that. Because unfortunately, we're stuck in situations where like other decks can just beat us because they just do it better. Like Jade Chieftain and Jade Claws. Rogue has this, you know, the Swarmer. It's missing one of its Jade packages, right? Because every class has 2 cards, and then the Rogue only has the 1. So I'm not really sure what their intentions were for the Jade Rogue, but it's not very good. Every time we play this deck, it hasn't been terrible. I mean, it's a fun deck, but it just seems like why didn't they just make it a little bit better to compete with all the rest of them, right? Because Druids have Jade Behemoth and Jade Idol, you know. Shamans have Jade Claws and Chieftain. And Rogues have fucking Swarmer. Oh yeah, we have the Shuriken. I'm sorry. We have the Shuriken. My mistake. I think we keep this entire hand, to be honest. I like this entire hand. I know it doesn't really consist of a lot of like normal things you'd look for, but we have 2 drops. We've got 4 drops. Like these are just all of our relatively decent early game, especially if we draw into like a Raptor. The Jade Swarmer Raptor is just like a really deadly combination. I like the coin on 2 because of the fact we do have 2 drops. So we have the Spirit into the Shadowcaster to Shadowcaster the Jade Spirit. Normally we want to like Shadowcaster Aya, because that's always just really good, but this should be fine as well. Unfortunately, we can't Jade Shuriken this without getting the value out of it. Without not getting the value. So I think we're just going to Swarmer and attack phase. He's going to be forced to attack into this 2/2 regardless, and I don't think there's any really good 2-drop Warlock card that we would have played over the Swarmer. Oh, he's actually playing Zoo? This is quite exciting. This is cool. And we actually did draw the Raptor. That was such a power play right there. And we're actually going to hold the Swarmer because if we attack face, it's kind of pointless. I'd rather this be able to kill another creature. So it's relatively semi-crucially important that we draw something to combo with Jade Shuriken. Because we're going to take a large quantity of damage. Evis. Which one do we want to use? Do we want to do 4 damage or sacrifice? Alright, so we need to do 2 damage here. So I assume this attacks here, this Shuriken's there, this Evis is there, that trade's there, and we don't create a guide. This could do 2, and this still does 2. So I kind of... Yeah. It just makes more sense to do this. We need to clear off the big damage. I'm not so much worried about summoning Jades this game, as more so reducing the damage that we take and controlling the board. So next turn we could go with the Shadowcaster. Probably not. Doomguard, Azure Drake, or the Spirit is probably the better play. Holy moly mackerel, his board state. Makes the trade, hopefully, oh no, it hit the Imp Gang boss. That's kind of scary. We could go with the Doomguard into the Imp Gang boss. We're going to discard some cards, but how important are those cards? I think controlling the board is what's most important right now. Every other card leaves it up for too long. So we're going to go ahead and take that out. So do we kill the 1/1, leave this one up, he trades, this 2/1 lives, or do we trade into the 2/1 and leave the 2/1/1s up? I think we trade because this still generates a creature and that card is a 2/1. These are just 1/1s. Doesn't feel too bad. Add a friendly minion. So this Shadowcasting this doesn't feel good. We know that we're most likely going to get the Spirit for the Jade Spirit because he's not going to go out of his way to kill that 2/3. Well, he might because board control is really important for the Zoolock. I take that back. It also looks like he may be running the Finja package. That's pretty crazy. So we can actually even fit in a hero power. Ooh, that's good. This looks pretty nice. So we've gained board. He's going to be forced to tap basically every turn. We're at above 20 life, which is nice. Oh no, who's Doomguard into Silverware Golem? What a play. Well, we know we can basically do everything we want to do in one turn here, right? So, this happens. It pulls out patches. We know this trades here. We know this gets backstabbed. We know this goes into here. Now the question is, how do we deal with this 3/3? Probably the 2/1 and the 1/1. This trades here. This attacks. This Shadowcasters. And then we bring it back and summon a 4/4. And then he concedes. That was a pretty overwhelming turn right there. Wasn't too intense, but still very important that we made the particular trades and try to reduce damage as much as possible. He could still beat us though. The Kinsami dot hit. He just wanted to tap first. Shadowcaster coming in clutch. Whew. Okay. And the reason I'm playing Jade Rogue along with that is we have like 3 quests. We have to like equip X amount of weapons. We have to play Rogue and then Warrior, and I'm not playing Pirate Warrior. And Control Warrior at rank 17. Earlier today, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet on Twitter or not, but we played against a Reno Cthulhu N'Zoth Priest. What the fuck? We got absolutely dominated. That was like, he had Alexstrasza, Ysera, Neff. Like he had all the big guns in his deck, right? And we just got basically obliterated. Like there was no outvaluing. Kazakis, Brain, he had the whole shit shane caboodle. Like, it was just domination. I mean, we did last almost to fatigue, but I mean, it was so hard to play against that deck. Because as soon as he started playing the cards, I'm like, all right, he's playing Cthulhu Priest. And then he started playing a bunch of Death Rattles. And everything was one-ofs. And I'm like, oh god, is he seriously playing Reno too? And he drops Kazakis, he drops N'Zoth, and he drops Cthulhu. And I'm just like, holy fuck sauce is going on. So like, this really just happened. There's not a soul on earth that deserves this. All right, so if we coined Undercity, how does that feel? Or do we just play the swash, pull out the good, and then just save the coin for that? We also could save the coin on 5. Could save the coin for the combo for a Vis. I don't think there's a... Well, if we play the Undercity, he's going to Hero Power trade. This is going to go to 1, and then if we play this Swashbuckler and we can Corsair, but I kind of want to Corsair a better weapon than that. So I guess the best bet would to be just accept the fact that Sir Finley is there. And then we'll just go face. The reason we go face is because he's most likely going to Hero Power to kill one of these anyway and trade into the other one. So if we trade into this, he just Hero Powers and he hits our face regardless. So it's not really saving us anything. Totem Golem is also a pretty scary card. So now the option is to Hero Power, attack, and then save next turn for maybe he plays like a Jade Claws or weapons, and then we blood into an Abyss. Or we actually have to coin into, yeah, we'd have to coin into an Abyss and then play the Corsair on nothing. I kind of just like the Hero Power and accepting the fact that we're going to take the damage. We can save the coin for the 4-drop, or for the 5-drop, but play it on 4. Because he's most likely going to Hero Power here, right? Yeah, and then he'll go face with that Hero Power. Because he has other weapons in his deck. Yeah, buddy. Another Abyss. So we actually could coin Abyss, and then we have 2 2-drops to play. So I actually like this a little bit more. This is only because we have another Undercity and drew an egg. First of all, granted, we have another Lava Shock, which is a 2-drop, and then this. The problem was, the reason I wanted to hold coin is because we didn't have an appropriate 4-drop to play, and 4-drops are like, you know, that's a really important turn. Who decides kind of who has the tension on the board and who doesn't. That's a big card. But it's not the fact that we still can take care of it, though. Because we would attack, it brings it down to 5. We can Earth Shock and Abyss. Very exciting things. It does sacrifice most of what we got going on here, and I'm definitely not tanking that. So I guess first things first is we want to go ahead and see what this gives us. Earth Shock does make it a little bit more reasonable, so we actually don't have to Lava Shock that. But we kind of want to Earth Shock his Eye of Black Paw, or like a Flame Tongue Totem. So I really just don't mind using the Lava Shock in the Abyss. And we'll save the Earth Shock for something a little bit more important. So like he plays Mana Tide, we use 1 mana, make it useless. He plays Flame Tongue, 1 mana, make it useless. He plays Eye of Black Paw, 1 mana, make it useless. Not useless, but you know, it doesn't do the Death Rattle. We don't have Polymorph in this deck, so Earth Shock's pretty important. Does he not have a follow-up 3? Unless he just top decked it. He's taking a long time. There's the Jade Claws, and here's where the Corsair comes into play. Sweet. So we actually can go ahead, first things first, let's Swashbuckler. That's pretty good. Let's Swarmer. Kind of fucked up. Probably should have played the Huckster. Let's Corsair that down and Hero Power this. This really baits him into wanting to use like a Maelstrom Portal, to be honest, if I was him. It's not a lot on the board, but you know. And now we got the Earth Elemental, which makes the Lava Shock better, so it actually makes the Earth Shock worse that we kept it, and we maybe should have kept the Lava Shock. But I mean, how are we supposed to know that we were going to be randomly generating an Earth Elemental with Overload 3, right? We also have to make the assumption this guy doesn't have Hex in this deck, because he plays the Faceless Manipulator, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop the shit out of that card. And we're just going to attack with what we have on board, because if he uses AoE, Jade Swarmer is going to die whether or not it's invisible or not. So we can't really depend on using Earth Elemental. He actually does run the Hex. That is pretty interesting. Sad, but you know, we have to accept the fact that that was going to come. Alright, Tunnel Trog. So if we draw the Raptor, it's a super good card right now. Bran. I don't think so. I think we're just going to have to make the necessary sacrifices into this Tunnel Trog. Next turn, we can Bran into the Lotus Agent to generate more Jade cards, or just healing cards, or kind of whatever the fuck we feel like. We also could go Bran into Azure Drake, which is draw, but I kind of like the Discover because we actually get to pick the cards rather than just hoping we draw some good stuff. We actually, you know, like I said, we get to pick and choose, baby, pick and choose. Our Shock is looking pretty spicy here, but our Hero Power and Guy can kill this, and we do just leave this 4-drop alive. Maybe. Backstab. Well, now Azure Drake backstab, and we would nah, I don't know. Backstab it, I think I like the Bran Lotus Agent play still. Maybe we'll get more backstabs. Assassinate, Stormcrack, or Feral Rage. These are hard. Destroy an enemy minion. That always feels good. Any minion, wherever it is. I guess a Feral Rage, right? I mean, Core Blood allows us to trade up, which is nice, but Feral Rage is basically armor and heal, which we don't really have in this deck. So now I guess we would kill this, unless we want to kill the Drake and leave the Manatide alive. If we leave the Drake alive, he can Lightning Storm, which is potentially disastrous. So I guess we kill the Drake. That's pretty bad. Do we attack with our weapon? Probably not, because we have Earth Shock. Oh, man. Oh. Lightning Bolt, and then Jade Lightning. Okay. And this is why we picked the Assassinate. It's because he had, still has one of these guys in the deck. In the Duke. Okay. So this happens 100% of the time. Now we got to figure out how we want to deal with this Manatide. Do we just want to Earth Shock it? And then we would just backstab the 2/2? And then we would play our Dust Devil? I suppose, right? The Dust Devil's just going to die to his hero power. But we're not doing much any next turn anyway, so... It's not like we have some crazy, you know, turn 10 play like a N'Zoth that we're waiting to do. Forces him to also hero power, making it so the max thing he can do is 5 mana. Earth Shocking that Totem also doesn't really get rid of it. It only negates the effect, which means if he puts like a Flame Tongue next to it, it still turns into like a beater, like we just saw here. Okay, so I suppose we Drake first. We're looking for a easy way to kill this Flame Tongue, and using a Shadow Strike does not strike me as a fantastic way to deal with that. But it looks to be the only way. Should we save Feral Rage for armor and Shadow Strike this? I think we should just go ahead and we'll kill this off. Doesn't feel very good, but you know, leaving Flame Tongue up is always a mistake. And Shadow Strike is going to be able to deal damage. We don't actually take the face damage. Blood Mage at this point is kind of pointless due to the fact that we would much rather get cards like this that summon big Jade stuff, but unfortunately his Jades are already much bigger than ours. He's running Lava Burst, Hexes, and Jade Chieftains. This guy is like, what the fuck? That is so, I'm not going to say dumb, but it's dumb. I'm going to use this to draw a card. We're going to kill that. And we're going to re-up our weapon. If you're going to run the Jade, I guess you can't... It's just silly to run the super... You can't run Burn and Control in the same deck. Then you either draw one half before the other, or you draw the other half before the other. The chances that you draw both exactly when you need them are so entirely, like, not okay. The fact that he has worked out for him, but... If you're going to run the Jade package, don't run Lava Burst, guys. Run, like, a Bloodlust instead, and actually make your deck make sense. But if you're gonna choose to run run Lava Burst, then don't run Jade Chieftains. Make your deck more focused on burning your opponent and, you know, dealing damage quickly. On top of that, he runs the 4-drop 7/7, which is even more pointless because if you just focus in on the Jades of your deck, which would be the Jade Chieftains, you're gonna be summoning these Jades, which potentially could be 6/6s and 7/7s for a cheaper price than from basically the 6 mana you're gonna pay. Anyway, Lava Bursting a 3/4. Okay. And it looks like he healed himself with a Jinyu Water Speaker. Okay. Jade Shuriken. So, we Jade Spirit. Do we really want to Shadow Strike this? I suppose we can. We have board, but not by much. I feel like we're just gonna get Lightning Stormed. If he runs that. Who fucking knows, man? Yeah. Alright, let's see if it high rolls on our 3/3 and 2/3. Of course. Alright, so what can we draw now that'll be good? That's not one of them. Well, that's not good. What do we do? Yeah, I is a good draw, but unfortunately we don't have enough time. We're gonna take 4 this turn and then 8 next turn, plus of course the hero power, and he also runs lava shocks and lava bolt, lightning bolt. Holy shit. Alright, so as we did lose, I do not recommend the guy, his deck, at all. Like, right now he thinks his deck, you know, did incredibly well, and he's like, wow, that was a really close game. But in fact, the game wouldn't have been close at all if we were playing, you know, a real Jade deck. But for the sake of, you know, staying happy, we'll say good game, but guys, don't do what he did. It's not next meta to put 3 deck types into one. It is not next meta. Not at all. Alright, so Shadow Strike is kind of, I don't know. Against Priests, we don't really need Jade Shuriken right now. And Shadow Strike is okay due to the fact that they could play the 3-drop, or the 4-drop. It's really not that bad. I just don't like the Shuriken. It really doesn't kill anything. Especially when we don't have coin. And the Shadow Strike, I mean the 4-drop 3/6, the dragon dude. Because we can assume this is going to be dragons. Mind control. That could be interesting. Unfortunately, we can't use that anytime soon, but I would much rather have like a mind control than some shitty, you know... I don't know. What is it called? Purify. Much better than Purify. Unfortunately, you're a little late to the party. So we attack in with everything, it puts it at 1, and he heals it for 2, and it's at 3, and we're fucked. So we actually, if we attack it with our weapon and he chooses to attack, he heals it, and it goes to 4 regardless. So there's really no point to attack with the weapon and or the creatures. We just patiently wait. He's going to kill a creature, he's going to play his dude. If he plays a dude like Northshire, then he can't heal it. If he plays Power Forward, it gives us a reason to Shadow Strike and attack. So. Oh, he doesn't even get to heal it, which means he played around Shadow Strike. This guy's a fucking god. We can't even combo Jade Shuriken. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Ugh. Little did he know he played around the Shuriken, or the Shadow Strike. He played around Shadow Strike again. You got me fucked up, fam. You got me fucked up, fam. He has no idea how good his plays have been. He's just playing those minions on curve. Well, we've already pulled patches. So Shadow Strike, this brings it down to 1. I really want to Jade Shuriken this, but unfortunately we have no way to kill this, and this just dies. So I think the best play is to just continue our making Jade Golem shits. Unfortunately, I think we lose this game. His curve has been very nice. And he's been playing around stuff that he doesn't even know he's been playing around. Which is, of course, you know, not his fault or anything, but by the love of God, my friend. The 2, 3, 4, 5 got me fucked up. The Master Priest. Literally, the Master, we could Shadow Strike. And then Jade Shuriken, but there's really no point. I'm like feeding the fire right now because it just entices him to make trades with like this, and then this goes to 1. I mean, our curve has been nice too. We've had like a Jade card every turn. We still have floated one for the past, I think, 1 or 2 turns with the turn 5 Jade Spirit or whatever. At least he's competing with these Jades and we're not actually taking a whole lot of damage. And we're getting closer to killing his shit. Unfortunately, we want him... Oh no. Just have Brand, nothing else, so we can kill him before you can get tons of value. God darn it, now I have to worry about another Brand and 2 more operatives. Fuck me. Well, we need to kill Bran, and we need to kill the operative. So if we played the South Sea Deckhand, we would Jade Shuriken this. We would Shadow Strike that. Because we need 5 mana, and we need to play something in return. So I guess we also could backstab, but we can't even kill this. But this, on top of the weapon... Yeah, because the Drake doesn't allow enough mana. So I think first things first, this happens. This leads into a combo here. if we backstab this, this still needs to trade into there, and we can't kill that. So we have to actually Shadow Strike this. This has to trade here. And then this is left up. There's no way to get around that. I don't fucking know. We're gonna get outvalued though, I'll tell you that. Hopefully he got shit from this Nether Spite, but unfortunately I'm sure he got more operatives, so there's his brand. We need to kill this. We gotta figure out a way. If we top deck Phantom Knives, we can. Evis is also a way. So I guess we could Agent. If we Agent, it dies to this 3-1 because we can't kill this. Unless we backstab and then weapon this. That doesn't feel that bad. So I suppose we'd Agent at that point then. Unless we want to save the Discover mechanic for Bran. We'd probably just want to summon Jades. Yeah. Ancient of War or Fire Elemental? I suppose the Fire Elemental, right? Because this can just get Shadow Word Death or Entombed. This can actively deal damage to something on the board. So then we backstab. It was actually, this was a huge misplay. We could have Azure Draked, Evist this, attacked into it. This trades here. Oh, then we still don't have a way to kill the Priest of the Feast. That's right. So this was actually the play. If we win this game, it is... I don't fucking know how. There's no... Not in a million years we should win this game. Maybe we can get like a mind control Ysera. That would be pretty great. And then he just can't kill his own Ysera. That'd be a... Oh god. Another fuck boy. Another let's give Priest a card. A broken card. Hopefully you got shit. If this is good. Fire Ellie's good. I think I'm gonna use the Drake into an Abyss and a hero power to kill that though. So do we attack face or do we attack this 1-3? That is the question. We play around Holy Nova because both those could trade into this. But we play into Excavated Evil. We also play into Nadia. Let's go for board control. Fuck it. It also plays around Backstab. Whatever he just generated. Oh my god. It's the third operative. We can actually mind control the fuck out of that 5-6, but we know he's holding on to some big dragons in his hand, no doubt. So, I mean, I think our best bet is to probably just kill these off for as long as possible, and when he plays the big dragons, we mind control. Because you guarantee this guy's got Ysera in here somewhere. He plays Ysera, we instantaneously lose. So I'd rather have a backup plan and use other plans as long as we can until we can no longer use those plans. So this can trade here, that attacks there, which means we can use the Fire Elemental and attack into here, and then our weapon can't go there. So I guess the best bet's the Drake first to figure out what we want to do. I mean, the Fire Elemental, like, it allows us to kill this, but then the trade on here just happens. So I'd rather him just, maybe the Fire Elemental's better, but then we have no follow-up play besides just redagger. We also could go with the play of mind controlling this 5-6, attack, and that gets the board. But again, if we use the mind control as good as it is now, if he drops Ysera, instantaneous loss. We're talking just like huge failure. We're also taking 5 there, pushing us really close to lethal. He could not have Ysera. Maybe we have to play around the fact that he doesn't have the Ysera, and a 5-6 dragon would be pretty annoying for him to get rid of. I guess we gotta go for it. We can't afford to take that kind of damage. I guess if he does have Ysera, this is 9, 10, 11, 12. So we actually could kill it, but it would cost us basically all of the tempo we've accumulated over the past 3 turns. So we just have to assume he doesn't have any big dick swingers, and if he does, we have to, like, I don't know, get something going on. At least his Dragonfire potion doesn't do shit. And having another Azure Drake in our hand for gas makes sense. The fact that we have 5 cards in total, and he has 8 cards in his hand. He's played 3 Dragonoid Operatives. That's pretty insane. You got me fucked up with that one, man. Well. So the option again comes down to Fire Elemental or Azure Drake. We can't play both in the same turn. If we choose to Drake, we attack here, we leave the 4/4 up. If we choose to Fire Elemental, we can Fire Elemental this 4/4 hero power and swing into there. This guy's at 1. If we choose to Azure Drake, again, he can make the trades and we leave this up and it can attack. But at least we draw more and we can play other shit. So I think the route is to draw. Do we have a dragon in our hand? No. Do we have to Shadowcaster our Azure Drake to draw 1 more and get an additional spell power? Probably not. I wouldn't be surprised if he has lethal here. He only needs 1 damage because he Shadowcaster down the guy and it's going to deal 3 and this does 4, which is 7. So he just needs a Holy Nova and he wins. But there was no other way of playing around it because either way we had to hero power to kill this, which means we're taking 4. And we haven't had the option for heal at all in this game whatsoever. If he holies. So the Corruptor there shows he doesn't have that. The 4 damage to the Azure Drake, this is nice. The Ysera, again, this is what we were worried about the entire time, is why we didn't mind control that guy, or wanted to save the mind control, but we really did not have the option to do so. If we Raptor this, and then we could Shadowcaster this, and then replay that to draw an additional card. If we Shadowcaster the Raptor while it has this effect, do we get that effect? Because I'd much rather attack first and then figure out a game plan than draw a card. So I guess I will draw first, though. Another Raptor. So this goes here. I guess this just attacks face. If he gets Nightmare or Ysera Awakens, we just instantaneously lose. That's unfortunate. It's not a loss though yet. I'm not sure what card we could get to stop this Ysera though. A 4th Draconoid Operative. Dude, this deck is so broken. Oh, the pain. The pain of the rank 17 priest player. Ooh, Golden Voodoo Doctor. Alright guys, well, we'll wrap it up this Jade Golem Rogue deck there. I guess we'll play the Ultimate Value next, because that'll, I think it's just an overall just a better deck than this Jade Golem Rogue until they get more utility tools. Like, I don't see how you would change this deck without removing the whole Jade Golem part, because we included as much Jade as we could, right? We took Jade Shurikens, Jade Swarmer, the Raptor to be able to hopefully generate more Jades or more value through the Hucksters. We've put in Draw, Jade Spirit, of course, Loge's Agent to even further generate more Jade stuff, Shadowcaster to copy Jade stuff, and the Aya to make the biggest Jade card that we could possibly put in here. But the Jades just don't seem to be enough. And we even have Bran to hopefully Battlecry and hit more Jades, or, you know, be able to draw into Jades. But unfortunately, it just seems like this is just such a slower Jade deck. Like, even to the point where it's like as slow as the Druid, but it doesn't even have the sustainability that the Druid has. So I'm not really sure where I want this deck to work. I really do. I like the Rogue Jade a lot. I just don't want to say this deck is good and to play it when it's just not. I'm not sure what it needs. Whoa, what do we get rid of? Fan of Knives? My bad. But yeah, so I'll see you in the next episode, of course. As always, I'm Rob, and happy whatever the hell day it is.